Ted, this is a really pivotal time in your career because this is also going to mark the first occasion when you teamed with Stan Hansen, this tour in April 1985. This, of course, is the period when Bruiser Brody had just made the jump to New Japan, and now you are working in his place with Stan Hansen. Ted, Brody's final day with All Japan was just 3 weeks or so before you made the jump over here. What was it like when Stan Hansen asked you to be his partner? Was it in Japan that he had asked you to do this?
Uh, I think I probably, it probably was because, you know, the other thing that, okay, and Brody jumping to the other company, that was, things like that was real unusual
Mm-hmm.
because like loyalty is a big deal in Japan. And so Brody jumps ship, goes to the other company, and I was there in Japan, and Stan said, look, he says, Brody's leaving. And he says, I'm going to need a new partner. Are you interested in the spot? And I looked at him and I said, is it pig's ass pork? Are you kidding? Now I'm the number 2 guy.
Yep.
And, pay raise. So, yeah, and again, the only reason that didn't last any longer than it did is because I ended up going to the WWF.
You guys had a nice little 2-year run, but it is interesting to think of how far you could have gone with Stan Hansen in Japan.
Well, I could have gone all the way. I could have just stayed and worked for All Japan Pro Wrestling if I wanted to, but it's kind of like I also understood that, and again, like Stan, Stan, you don't see Stan making very many like Comic-Con appearances to sign autographs because not too many people know him.
Right.
And the reason they don't know him is that he spent almost his entire career in Japan. And I'll put it this way: Stan Hansen doesn't need a job.
He does not.
No, he does not. And he was obviously, I don't know how much he was paid, but obviously he ended up being the number 1 gaijin, which means foreigner in Japan. He's the number 1 gaijin wrestler, and
for a very long time.
Yeah, for a long time. And he married a Japanese girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's a good guy, and he's a great guy.
You work on top for that long, and brother, you're gonna make a shit pile of money. I'm sure he's not hurting for money now.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's really cool that you're getting over there and getting to have the opportunity. And this opportunity, of course, is going to create more opportunities for. I'm sure that when Baba sees the 2 of you together and you're kind of his top tag team, top heels in the company, he's going to want to bring you over more often. And we'll wrap up with this question, just because I'm curious as a man who's got children and a wife myself. First of all, what was it like calling from Japan to home? How was it difficult to get in touch with your wife?
No, not really. It wasn't. I mean, I could call. I could call home from any hotel that I was in. And of course, you wanted to keep those phone calls. You didn't want to get on the phone for an hour.
Right.
And I guess the thing that made it, it's kind of like easier for Mel was the fact that when I was just going to Japan, for a while, that's all I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
just for a little while. And, so when I came home, I was home.
Whenever you're coming home from Japan, is it difficult to get acclimated as far as like the difference in time and whatnot, and also like how is Mel reacting to you being gone for a month? Like, do you feel that it put any strain on the marriage, or was she understanding what she was up against?
She was pretty understanding. I mean, she understood too that, I was making more money in Japan.
Mm.
I mean, what I made in Japan compared to, I could, I'll put it this way: I can understand why Stan Hansen just went to Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why leave?
and sometimes like I even second guess myself, like man, I could have done that, but by the same token, if I had done that, then the Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, all of that stuff never would have happened. And had it not happened, I don't know how it would have ended up, because it's like I know Stan doesn't need the money. I mean, because he made his money and he saved his money, and again had no expenses in Japan except for food. It's kind of like I still wonder, Marcus. Sometimes I second guess myself as a guy. You know what? If I'd have done what Stan did, chewy.
I can guarantee you wouldn't be signing any Funko Pops.
Yeah, I wouldn't be signing Funko Pops, or I wouldn't be in any video games.
Mhm. It might not be a WWE Hall of Famer. Now, I don't know if Stan, I believe if Stan is a WWE Hall of Famer, but you just never know. Like, circumstances could be different. Maybe you could have made more money. Maybe you could have extended your career if you'd worked in Japan and not come back here. Who knows?
I don't know, but it is what it is, and but as far as Japan goes, I love Japan. I love the people. I mean, the people couldn't be more warm. For a country who just 2 decades before was at total war with America.
Hmm.
It was totally different. I mean, you couldn't you couldn't tell. And again, I wrestled in Hiroshima,
Wow.
and I wrestled in what was the other one? Nagasaki.
Yes.
The two places where they dropped the atomic bomb. You couldn't tell.
Wow.
I think there was one thing that was left as a reminder, and there was a museum that you could go to, and just the museum was very sobering. You think, oh my gosh, some of the things like crazy.
And it's an experience that not everybody gets to have, not only going to Japan, but I mean, you yourself going over there and performing at a high level in some really big halls and arenas.
Yeah,
So really cool that it's something you got to experience, and I'm looking forward to exploring it more, because God knows that Baba, once this partnership happened with you and Stan Hansen, Baba was looking to bring you over there probably as often as he could, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe we gotta get Stan Hansen on this podcast. I think we should get in touch with him.
Yeah, he's a great guy.